Hey guys, welcome back to Almost Inevitable Design. My name is still PK and I make WordPress tutorials for website designers and developers. Now is 1-3. It is the third installment in talking about length units, relative length units to be more precise. So we've talked about rem and m, we've talked about VWVH. Now we need to wrap up. We need to talk about Vmin, Vmax, percentage, and CH. So it's not that hard, those guys, because Vmin is interesting. You can see that this viewport is, what is it, 1213 by 506, which is smaller. The 506 is smaller, so that's Vmin, right? Vmax is 1213. 100 Vmax is 1213, 100 Vmin is 506. Why is that? It's because Vmin and Vmax are dependent on the, need to start that. Oh yeah. Yep. I didn't even do any intro. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to say that. All right. So subscribe to keep up with the playlist and new videos that I upload, and also I don't know what you need to do to get notifications or whatever. Oh yeah, people are like, hit that bell. I don't know. I'm not that cool to be saying that kind of slang. Yeah. So where was I? Vmax and Vmin, Vmax and Vmin. However, if you're on a phone, then this is Vmax and this is Vmin, because landscape and portrait are different, which is really, really important for what is it? Font sizes and proper styled websites, responsive websites. So let's consider this. All right, now because it switches from landscape to portrait, from desktop to mobile, you can't assign that to anything because it changes, right? However, what you can do is you can do things like, let's say, for example, it's on desktop or whatever. Let's say on desktop, you need something that is, I'm thinking, I had to think for a second there. So one, I think, useful, maybe usable, and one practical way of using Vmin, Vmax would be something like padding and spacing. So vertical spacing sometimes is fine when you use fixed spacing. Sometimes what you can also do is you can use Vmin, for example. So that means you take whichever is the smaller side and use that as a unit. I don't know. It's not that useful, Vmin and Vmax. It sounds cool, but sometimes you need it. You'll know it when you see it. I don't think I've used it maybe ever while coding and styling things for like so long. Almost over a decade. Almost 15, 16 years. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think I've written CSS that much in my first few years. Anyways, so that's what Vmin Vmax is. Now, what you need to also sort of understand about the next one is percentage. What you need to understand is you can't just set percentage as height, right? It's pretty easy to understand that percentage is the percentage of its parent, okay? Of its parent. For example, if I have this, right? Yeah, that's fine, right? So, because I have this. Now, this is at 90%, all right? That's 90% of the section, all right? The section is 1197, as you can see, right there. Yeah, you can see that the section is 1197. So the container 1197 times 0.9 is 1077.3, right? Which is exactly what that is, 1077.3. That's 90%. But let's put, for example, a container inside it again. All right, let's put another container in there. Now it doesn't really matter whether it's actually a practical way of putting a container in there. I mean, like if it has an actual purpose, but we're just trying to do another calculation, okay? So you can see it moved in, it jumped in. So inside this, you do another 90%. So 1077 times 0.9 is 969.57, which is exactly what you see here. It's 90%. This is 90% of that. This is 90% of this guy, of the parent. Now, that's great. Width is easy to understand. Width, height, width percentages are easy to understand. If you want to do height, all right, it's a little different when you're doing height as percentages, okay? I'll show you what I mean. Let's say the container, we'll give it a height of 10 rem, which should be 200 pixels, right? So yeah, that should stretch that out, okay? So we'll give it a background color of, oh yeah, woohoo. I'm not writing SAS, so this is, yeah, okay. There we go. So you see that's 10 rem, that's 200 pixels high, right? So that has a height. Let's see if we can give this guy a height of 50%. And it does, right? Because this has a height. All right? Because it has a height. Now, what I mean by that is it can't be the height cannot be the width, percentage of the width. So, because this is, let's see, that's 1077, all right? 10,077 pixels wide. If you want to give this height, if you want this box to be like a square or 2-to-1 ratio or whatever, and you say, oh, let's give it 100% height because that width is 100%. That won't work that way. Okay, it won't work that way. So you got to have, it takes the height of the percentage of the other height of the parent height. Okay, and if the parent height is not defined, it doesn't do anything, because there's no height that it can inherit from, okay? Hope that makes sense. A lot of people have trouble with squares and stuff, so I can explain how squares are put together, but well, yeah, that's for another tip or whatever. All right, so I think that's it for percentages. We all understand percentages. It's just regular ratio math. And we have CHs. Now, CHs are fun. It's not very useful, but it's just fun. So what it does is, you see, let's change this text. This is H O. All right. So this 0, as you can see here, that 0 it has a certain width, right? Depends on the font. But they all have a certain width of 0. Usually numbers are pretty close to that, but if you have like ones, it's not going to work. But anyways, whatever the case is, if you have a 0, then that is 1 CH. All right, that is 1 CH. So we can use that in a case where, for example, font family, monospace, and now these are monospaced. Okay, so 1, 2, this 1, 2. That means everything has the same width. Everything has the same width. Okay, so let's give this some text. All right. So cupcake ipsum. All right, let's give it some text like that. Let's take that and put it in here. There we go. All right, let's cut it off at maybe here, chocolate. All right, so how many characters is that? 38 characters, right? 38. So let's cut it off at 38. All right, so paragraph, max width is 38. Oops, 38 ch. There you go. Okay, so that is exactly 38 characters wide. That is exactly 38 characters wide. And that's how that's how the CH works. And it can be useful when you are when you're using a font that's not as monospaced fonts are the best, but using fonts that are sort of relatively okay, like geometric sans serifs are sometimes okay, except for the I's and L's and F's. But otherwise, it's not that bad. It is, a tricky unit to use. It's not. I don't think it's practical, except for very specific cases. But yeah, that's what that is. So it's an interesting unit. All right. Okay. So now we have 3.5 minutes left. That's good. I'm gonna cancel that, so I don't need to worry about it. And we're done. So yeah, I think that covers all the units. Hopefully you understand them enough to keep up with the next lesson, which is typography. And there we're going to have a full-on discussion, 13-minute discussion about how to put together really fluid web typography, like the basics of it. I also have a backup 1 hour long video about it, 40-minute long video about it. I'll link that later. But yeah, I'll see you in the next video of this series, and we will be talking about typography there. Okay? All right, so have fun. If you have any questions, always leave it in the comments below. Leave it in the post on my website, almostinevitable.com. Subscribe, join the Discord. We can have some fun, and let's hang out. All right? So take care. I will see you in the next video. Bye.